Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to yet another iRacing video here. We're going to be watching a nice little Formula 4 race here, which is going to be quite an exciting one, I think, as we are going to be racing around Rudskogen Motorsenter. This time it is going to be a standing start. We're off quite well. We start at P9 of the 20 total drivers here, and we're going to be trying our hardest here to defend up well. First corner is quite clean, at least in front of us. Behind us, not so much here, but we are good to go here around the Norwegian track. This is actually the oldest Norwegian racetrack there is, and well, in the end, we're going to basically stay in our own position with our gaps behind. We're making that swap over from a heavy low downforce car here into a Formula 4 car, which is the exact opposite, but that's going to make it even more exciting, to be honest here. As we make it through here, we are all good to go. We're going to see that we make it through here quite nicely through those twisty turns here. It's quite a twisty track as well, but that's making it great for such high downforce cars here. Gotta be careful that we don't lock the brake here, and we're good to go here. We're going to be pushing our way up. Now, to give you an idea of where we are right now, this is still week 1 of season 4. And we're racing in the FIA F4 regional tour in Europe. And that is with a fixed setup as well. So we cannot make any changes to the car, basically. So that's quite interesting to see. That one's going to play out. So we're going to come down to the drivers here. And, well, got to be careful now that we're all good to go and make our way through the first lap safely. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe as well. We've got more videos coming on soon, so make sure you tune in for those one too. As for now, we are going to be making our way through here, trying to catch up to the group ahead of us now. And it's going to be a little bit of a fight actually getting there though, but we're not really seeing anyone behind us, so we're free to push kind of a clean. There's a car going into the wall really hard there. Luckily, we don't get damaged here at all. More drivers now going off as well, and it is very much awkward. But we at least survive, and we'll be going through here. Those drivers are going to be able to join in a little bit further behind again, but we are now finally ahead of them here, looking to keep it going. Well, so far so good here, and make sure we don't go too wide there, but we manage. There is a small penalty there for cutting the cross at least, but we did make the corner, which is good already. Now slow cars ahead of us too. Means we're going to be able to use that slipstream now as we're coming up to the straight. We're trying to utilize that to the maximum, but those drivers are going to go wheel to into the next corner. Do we want to get involved in that, or are we better off waiting behind? Well, everybody makes it through cleanly. It does cost us a little bit of time. You're waiting for that, and now that's also allowed the drivers behind us to come closer up again here. We see Win Marin ahead of us here, and Georgia M right behind us. And as we once again go down the hill here at this beautiful Norwegian, I mean, just look at the scenery here. Like, this is a racetrack. It feels like we're at Spa even. And all the twisty turns, we are honestly managing it really well right now. So we are all good here, and a little bit messy there for the drivers ahead of us too, and definitely struggling for grip, it feels like there. We all make it through, and well, we had a slower start to the lap, but we are now gaining up to our best records here, as you can see by the delta times as well. Now we go a little bit too wide, and immediately the doors open as well. However, can't stick his way around there if he wants to, and ooh, that is a little bit of a touch there. He gets off it worse than we do, but that is not going to be very handy in terms of damage and whatever, and obviously trying to get this race as clean as possible as well. And obviously you can't improve your safety rating every race, but it would be a good way to do so now. Luckily it was from the back here. The car is quite strong there as compared to its weak points. You know, the tires and such can be easily hit. Yellow flag is out as well. There's a little bit of smoke coming up ahead of us here, which means that one of the drivers has had a little bit of a moment there. He slid across at some point. Our safety rating is currently at 851. and on 3.16. That's our iRacing rating here. And we're looking to improve the both of them here. We have shown in the BMW race that we do have the pace to do so as well. This time, once again coming through the twisty track, we managed it really well. Slow car ahead now, so we need to be careful.
Car right. Stay on the left. Clear. You got a slow car on the left.
There we
car
go,
right.
but it's a little bit of a drag race here.
Keep to the left.
Okay, we managed to stay ahead, so we're all good for now here. In fact, we are on track now for a lap record, but only barely. It is marginal difference here.
The car in P1 just set the fastest lap.
Fastest lap for Samuel Sandoval here. Go a little bit too wide there, but we do get a decent exit off here, so it's cost us minimal time here. We don't get a penalty for that either, so we are good to go now. You see those track cuts that we saw earlier, right? The ones where we get a penalty for, these do count as incidents as well. So that's how you usually will rack up quite a few penalty points, incident points, as you're gonna go at it here. So we're trying to avoid that mainly. And well, as we're coming in, we're gonna see once again that the same driver's attacking at your into P6 now. Thanks to all the incidents and thanks to everybody who well slowed down or whatever it was at some point here. We didn't really have to do many track overtakes. The only thing we've done is keeping it clean. And as long as you keep it clean, you're going to be good to go here. And there is just nobody that's able to touch us at the moment here. We feel invincible. There's no reason to yet. I mean, there's still plenty of time here to get the race going for the drivers behind us as well. So we're going to be fighting perhaps here. Look at the big group behind us now as well. You can see it very nicely on the bottom screen here, added on top as we're making our way through the corners here. One of the drivers behind us has actually spun out again. Now a car stuck on the track. And well, that means that we are going to be moving on here to position number 5. So the best position we have been all race now. As we are still good to go. The tires are looking okay and the fuel okay still as well. The fuel is looking okay. You can see our heart rate's a lot higher than it was in the BMW race. And that shows quite a fun little feature, gotta say, that heartbeat measuring thing. It's not something you see every day, but I'm loving every single bit about that one. So now we have started treating it a little bit more seriously as well, the sim racing thing, right? Maybe for the people that don't know, it used to be a commentary here of Sven and Jan Mathies, which is his brother, which was then on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Now Sven's no longer active. He plays chess now mainly, but sorry, Jan is no longer active. Sven is still going at it. We're watching Sven right now. Still very fun to see those brothers fight it out in Assetto Corsa Competizione, but now this is a little bit more of a serious sim. Of course, it's probably the highest standard in terms of sim you can see, and quite expensive as well to follow along in it.
The leader is running 19.284.
There it is, a fastest lap coming in now as well, halfway through. Now on the downshifts here, we're back to third gear. Now you got to get on the throttle. The flow is really good now. We've gained quite a bit compared to our previous laps, so we're getting more comfortable behind the wheel as well. Now you can just see lap by lap we're experiencing every little bit more, and then we go a tiny bit wide here, and that might just cost us the position. So we see Ivan Amistad go through now. But now we have something to race for here. Now we have a little bit of a drive to push for 2 now.
The car in P1 just set the fastest
lap yet again for Samuel Sandoval. He's just going to keep pushing at it.
a slow
Slow car now on the right, but we were able to make it through, so we're all good to go here. Still P6. Now, that was obviously the position we were in for a very long time until we made a small mistake. That's cost us here. We are still all good to go.
It's going well. Keep at it.
There on the absolute limit, you could just hear as well how the track limits are being pushed to the absolute max here. Now Knudsen behind us is not able to get closer as of yet here. Here comes that pushing in now as well. Making our way over here.
You're losing on the car in front. The gap is 1.3
1.3 seconds as the driver ahead of us. You're slowly but surely escaping from us. He seems to have better pace when it comes through. His last lap average are just way better. It's a little bit unfortunate here. We do defend from this one position. Like they're not there to go side by side there. We're all good to go here. Ooh, a little bit of a spin yet again. We got to be careful on the rejoin, but luckily we make it by, and that's going to be once again P5. A little bit less than 9 minutes remaining here as we are going to enter yet another lap here.
back in fifth.
So far so good here. Track temps looking quite normal here, and the grip level is still absolutely fine. The tires actually look surprisingly okay at this point on. Here comes
Car on your left.
potentially that push now as well, but through as of yet. So he keeps trying, and he knows he's eventually going to be able to push us to the absolute limit here. We're seeing some drivers behind us fight it out really hard as well here. Here comes the side-by-side push then.
Hold your line.
Knudsen goes by. We be careful as well. A car on the right now immediately going for the move as well, and just getting off your line once has cost us 2 positions. And potentially even a third here. Now it looks like Charlesman's going to have to wait just a little bit longer to get a move on. There it goes. Oh, a crash, and 2 drivers have gone off ahead of us here, but we're able to keep the car somehow into one piece. I don't know how we've done that, but we managed to avoid all the crashes here, but it's cost us a couple positions as well. We're down to P7 again here, looking to push up back into that P6 spot we were once in. But luckily we were able to avoid any damage here. The drivers behind us, they are now off way worse than we are, so we're going to try and utilize that as well. Well, here we keep it going. Now kind of finding ourselves in no man's land again. However, this is quite far off here. So far so good through the corners. Only limits, almost going off, but managed to keep it in. Slow car yet again in, but we are going to make our way past here nicely. As Michele Bertolli was gone off here, the Italian driver. We are now passing through, and Darren Smith behind us has made his way past now as well. So it's going to be right up our heels again, but he's got quite a bridge to build now. As obviously he is not there as of yet. And here comes that push. I see them come through. And we're all good to go now. Yet again here. Now a little bit of a backstory as well, where I gotta be honest now. Obviously, I've explained already that I was racing with his brother. Now, as far as I know, Sven's quite new to sim racing still, at least in this platform. But this platform has got way more potential. So how this works is he's gonna be pushing up the levels here. He's going to be pushing his iRating up, and hopefully his safety rating along as well. That's going to unlock new cars, tracks and classes to compete in. Right now, mainly sticking with the Formula 400 GT4. 2 cars on the complete different end of each other, right? We've got the M4 GT4 being quite heavy, this one being very lightweight and high downforce. These obviously classes you can access once you kind of make your way past the rookie. There is a little bit of a track cut as well, unfortunately. Not the end of the world here. So it is all good to go. Now we're getting closer to that 3/4 mark here. So at the moment it doesn't really look like Rudskogen Motorsenter has any surprises for us whatsoever here. Being a track that obviously hosts the best of races in Scandinavia, which is not necessarily a very big motorsports region, right? If you compare it to Germany or the UK, for example. But still, they've got some very respectable classes, right? They've got a couple races here from the Swedish Touring Car Championship. They've raced here before. We've got the Porsche Carrera Cup coming out as well. Those are pretty spectacular, if you ask me. And this track, well, the scenery is great, I gotta be honest here as well. And it's made for some good racing along the line as well. I mean, currently we're finding ourselves kind of alone. But if we ignore that part, then we're honestly all good to go. And that is also where it becomes quite interesting. Are we going to see any pushing ups a lot soon? I mean, there's a big gap behind us on Darren Smith, who's not able to keep up with the same pace as we are. But Darrell Willis is still quite far away. And that's the driver we're going to be pushing towards in the last 4.5 minutes of the track. Trying to push it to the absolute limit. You can see our heart rate's kind of slowed down now as well. And now we're no longer involved in wheel-to-wheel racing, making it quite an interesting addition, as I mentioned before here. Now it is all good, and as we move on, gaps are being created elsewhere. And also look at how big of a gap Samuel Sandoval's got here. He's currently over on the left side of the track. You can see it here. He's making his way up this big straight. There's just no way clear to that, and we're in P16, which shows how big the gap is. I mean, P1's clear like half a lap here of P2, which is really impressive, I gotta be honest. This very interesting and actually quite diverse group as well of race, right? We've got drivers from America, we've got some drivers from the EU. It's a very distinctive group. We're actually in this lobby one of the only drivers from Europe here. Now last time we saw a couple more as well. So they do just get mixed up in. Ping's not really an issue as it would be in, for example, a first-person shooter game. But we're good to go here. The temp's looking okay. Tires looking okay, fuel's looking okay, although we are running a little bit lower now. 7, we should just be fine to make it through the end here. So we're going to be trying to make up another spot there or two if possible. Yellow flags are out, but unfortunately for us, it's another driver involved in this. Now it does get interesting because the driver here in P12 is close to driver number P4, so eventually going to make it through. Right here as well, we go by rather easy, and that's the position now as well to Darrell Willis. So we do gain another here.
You got a slow car on the left.
Slow cars everywhere.
Go right.
We make our way by nicely here. Willis is nowhere to be seen now. So we gain another, but he is still trying to push us down as well. Obviously we had a little bit of a slower lap now thanks to some back markers and whatever, but all good to go now. And LP5 is going to be a position we're going to be trying to hold on to here as we enter the possibly last 2 laps here. Lap times currently around the 121 sign. That's a little bit slower actually than most drivers around this year, but because we've kept it so clean, we are able to catch and keep up as well, which is absolutely massive here. Through again here, and that little bump can be so deceiving, but we do manage. We are all good to go now. One minute and 10 seconds remain here. Time ticking away here, as it's all going to depend on where the leader is right now in the lap and whether he's able to cross the line one more time before the time goes off. But for us, it's going to be P5 for now. We're all good to go in this. Seconds remain. Sandoval still all the way back there, looking to push in yet another lap, which he should be able to do as well. Now we are still looking in the rear view mirror. Darrell Willis is still pretty close by here, I gotta be honest. It's quite exciting to see how this one's currently playing out. I wasn't expecting it to be so incredibly close right now, but there we are, a little bit slower through the sector than we normally are, and he's right up us again. Time now officially up as well. So we're soon going to be entering our last lap, most likely here.
Car right.
Right to the right, do we get the move on?
Still there.
There we go. So we actually let him by, kind of. Just taking it a little bit easier here, just making sure everybody survives.
White flag this
There
time.
it is, a white flag coming out. As we make it through. We'll be crossing that line here to push ourselves into the final lap of the race, and still looking to get by Darrell Willis here, who is now ahead of us. In terms of lap time, he's a little bit quicker, but last average laps he's actually been slower. So I'm sure he's got a fastest lap, but he's less consistent than we are. Heart rate as well as when we're getting into the fights, getting a little bit higher up again. This is going to be enough. We're good on fuel, that's not our worries here, but if we can get by this one position one more time, it would be so nice. Samuel Sandoval just come in as well and taking a race victory with ease here. There's absolutely nobody reaching his level. It's really impressive what we're seeing here.
You're losing on the car in front. The gap is 1.8 seconds.
1.8 seconds ahead, and that's going to be very difficult to bridge over. Might just be a little bit too little here. That's what I'm afraid of, at least. And here we come then. It's going to be a checkered flag here. P6 it is again. A beautiful result coming out here. Well, you've got 16 incident points this race because of all the track cuts, the small little hits and everything, you name it. So it's been quite chaotic here. Safety ratings, they've gone down to 3.13. It was 3.16 before we started this race. So it's 0.03 going off there, which is not the end of the world. But we do gain more iRacing rating here, as we are now going to be pushing ourselves over into the high 800s here. 886 it will be from this point on, which is honestly quite nice. And well, that is going to be it then as well. Now I'm going to say it one more time. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up as well. Leave a subscription by as well if you want to see more of this kind of video, as I'm going to be uploading a couple more as the season commences. I'm pretty sure of that one. And well, this time around, Rudskogen Motorsenter is once again a great result. This time a couple more drivers on the grid as well, so a P6 is extra impressive as we're looking to go and make our way back into the pits here to call an end to the video here. Just making sure we finish up the last laps, because this is also for safety rating still after the race has actually come through. So the more corners you go by, the better it is, because there's basis of amount of corners that you take. And here we go back into the pit lane then. And in the end, we have gained here 36 points in the championship. You're pushing it to P 2,612 out of 4,226. So that is going to be us, all from us today here. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and make sure you like and subscribe as well. We're going to be back with another video very soon, and I wish you guys a very, very pleasant rest of your day.